Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
James tipped me off to a story about insurance companies. You know how much I love insurance companies. From the Auto Wire. State Farm is getting sued for cheaping out on repairs. Cheaping out. Stephen Symes wrote this. That's Stephen with a V. When you pay for your full coverage insurance, of course, you expect that when you're in an accident, your car will get repaired. But you just pay the deductible and the insurance company covers everything else, right? They take care of it. Well, some State Farm customers with high-end vehicles say the insurance company has tried steering them away from certified repair facilities. And of course, if they were to do that, it might, void your factory warranty, for instance, to save a couple bucks. And of course, that's not your money they're saving. It's the insurance company's money that they'd be saving. So if you've experienced something like this in the past, the issue started with one man in South Florida whose 2022 Porsche was damaged in a crash. And that's from WPLG, which is a TV station down there. Porsche told him the luxury EV had to be repaired by a Porsche certified shop. Otherwise, the warranty would be voided. However, State Farm, according to the man, told him that he should take the car to a non-certified shop where the repairs could be done at a lower hourly rate. Of course, it's a lower hourly rate because it's a non-certified shop. The man ended up paying out of pocket to get his car fixed because he didn't want the warranty voided. And of course, the car itself is a $100,000 car. So he contacted some lawyers who filed a lawsuit against State Farm, saying that the insurance company rejects any repair estimates over $4,700 automatically, which is a problem for anyone driving a more expensive car. And now, I'm not sure how they would have known that, but I've heard of stories that insurance companies do have occasionally thresholds or things that says, well, this repairs are this much, flag it. So digging into the problem, those attorneys realized that quite a few people across the country have experienced similar issues with State Farm. For example, one person with a damaged Maserati contacted all the preferred repair shops State Farm provided, but none of them would touch the car. And now that can be for several reasons. And I've heard of people who took a vehicle someplace for repairs either under an insurance policy or a warranty, and where the place said, we won't handle claims if we're going to get paid by them. And the reason is they say we've dealt with them in the past. So they very well could be here that some of these companies, shops have said, well, we dealt with them in the past. We didn't like working with them, so we don't want to do that. So the attorney filed a class action lawsuit, actually two of them, one in Florida, one in Georgia. And Stephen Symes says, we've heard other stories of insurance providers trying to cheap out on repairs for more expensive vehicles. So this seems to be quite the problem. What the solution is moving forward remains to be seen. And of course, class action lawsuits often wind up where members of the class, get a coupon off their next set of floor mats, and the attorneys get their fees. We'll see what happens. Of course, what you're hoping is that the insurance company, if they're doing something wrong, will change their ways. I've mentioned before that I used to sue insurance companies. And there was a time where if you had a car that was stolen in southeastern Michigan, there were a couple companies who would simply deny your claim and go, we don't think it was an authentic theft. We think you faked it. We think it was a fake theft. And I took depositions of the people who made that call from the insurance company. And I said, so why do you think it's a fake theft? And they go, because it wasn't real. What makes you think it wasn't real? Well, it was a fake theft. And they do this circular thing. And finally, I would say, to the attorney for the other side, I go, can you please tell your client to answer the question? Because we all know what I'm asking here. What was the basis for making that determination? And I'd ask it like that, and they'd say things like, well, it didn't look real to me. Okay, what about it didn't look real to you? It looked like a fake theft. Okay, so are you just divining this? Were you throwing chicken bones at the ground to see what they read? Tea leaves? What facts do you have? And then they'd say things like, well, your client wasn't happy with the car. Based on what? Well, I've encountered this before. Someone's unhappy with their car, will fake the theft. Okay, do you have any facts about my client being unhappy with the car? And so it was just weird because I've told before, I had one of these go to trial and I had a judge Stop the questioning and actually turn to the guy and go, do you have any facts? And you might say, but Steve, that makes no sense. Why would the insurance company do that? Well, it turns out that in many states, if you sue your insurance company, you got to pay your attorney fees, win or lose. And so if they have a claim for, $5,000 that they just deny, and you sue them for the $5,000 and you win, you get your $5,000 minus whatever you have to pay your attorneys, which might be more than $5,000. I used to take these cases because they just bothered me. They upset me. I had some cases where I literally told my client, you're not going to pay me anything. I don't care. I'm just doing this on principle. It bothers me. Insurance companies will do this. But I've also told my personal story, and it involved State Farm. And I had a Jeep Wrangler in the middle of the winter in Oakland County, Michigan. And somebody stole the doors off of it, which are very easy to steal. And I had full coverage on it. And so I filed a claim. And State Farm said, okay, we'll pay to have those doors replaced. And I said, well, I got to take it to a dealership, and they don't have doors in stock because they got to be painted and stuff. And the guy goes, well, just keep driving it. You can drive that thing with no doors. And every time I tell the story, I get people go, but Steve, you can drive it with no doors. Not in the wintertime, and remember that the mirrors were on the doors. So it had no rear view mirrors outside. It had the one inside, but not the two outside. But you can't drive that car safely or comfortably in the wintertime. And so I said, no, I want a rental car. And they said, we're not going to pay for a rental car because you can drive your car. Your car's perfectly drivable. And so I wound up taking the Jeep to a dealership, and they did fix it, and it took them a week or two. They gave me a rental car. They actually gave me a rental car, and they ate it. They actually said, we'll pay for this. But what's funny is I told that story originally. I wrote a story about it for Jalopnik a long time ago. And I had people in the comment section going, either A, your story's not true, or B, your car was drivable. It just so what? A Jeep is missing its doors, so what? Put on a winter coat. It's not always a winter wonderland out there where you're just driving along in fluffy powder and there's, this like Santa's magic sleigh. No. But number two, I had several people go, no, it's not true in that you made that story up. That story did not happen. And I had people, I would occasionally, when people tell me that I've made a story up about my life, I said, so what makes you think this? And I had several people go, there's no way an insurance company would deny the claim and say that. And I actually had somebody contact me once. And the guy goes, well, I know because I worked in the unit at State Farm that probably denied your claim. And the point is that would I have sued them for the rental car? I'm an attorney, I might have. But would the average person? No, the average person couldn't afford to. And so the part I have a problem with, a company that size with that reputation, they have competitors. So if you get treated like that, do you keep the insurance? No, of course not. I canceled my insurance the day I got my Jeep back. And I remember I actually at the time had dealt with an agent who's like, Steve, I don't understand why we're canceling your insurance. I said, because of what you guys did to me. And he goes, well, it wasn't me. I'm just an agent. I said, yeah, you're an agent for the people who did this to me. So that's why I'm canceling my policy. Oh, by the way, my homeowners was with the guy too. Canceled my homeowner's policy and the insurance on my other car. So the guy lost 3 policies because of this. And the guy was beside himself on the phone. And I said, you understand, you could have called and said, hey, this guy's a good customer of mine. He's got 3 policies with me, 2 of which were with State Farm. One was with another company. And you could have said, give the guy a rental car. Come on. And they would have. But he didn't make that phone call. And he goes, well, I can't do things like that. Oh, you can't even try? Guess what? The only thing I can do is cancel all my policies out of principle. So there you go. But James, thanks for sending the note. The Auto Wire ran that. Stephen Symes, Stephen with a V, of course. State Farm is getting sued. 2 class actions, Florida and Georgia, for trying to cheap out on repairs. Like that, cheap out on repairs. And sometimes it's inappropriate. And so if you go and look at the policy Remember, the contract that governs your insurance policy is a document that says what they will and will not cover. I have a sneaky feeling if you go through it and read it, it'll say that they have the right to shop around and try to get things done inexpensively. But I think it's reasonable that when your car gets fixed, it shouldn't have its warranty voided because of cheap work. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.